going on, guys? My name's David and welcome back to this week's Buzzfeed test. Now, a couple days ago, as I was scrolling through people's comments and Buzzfeed and tasty videos, I came across this video, and then the top comment on that video was this, which kind of shocked and stunned me that I just randomly came across people who were talking about me. But I did promise you guys that I was going to be doing it, so here I am. This week I'm going to be trying the Churro ice cream bowls from Tasty's YouTube channel. These things seem pretty simple, but there's definitely room for me to mess them up, so let's see how I do. Alright guys, some ingredients you're going to have to pick up to make this recipe is some flour, some oil to fry, salt, vanilla extract, water, cinnamon sugar, brown sugar, eggs, and butter. And let's first start by making the churro dough. So in a saucepan, I combined a half stick of butter with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I let that melt down a little bit, then added a half teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of water. I kept stirring until the entire mixture came to a boil. Once it did so, I took it off the heat and added a cup of flour. 2 weeks, 2 spatulas down. Once that was all thoroughly mixed up, I set it aside for a couple minutes to cool, then added a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 4 eggs, but 1 by 1. So you gotta throw one in, mix it up, then throw your next one. I'm not sure exactly why they want you to do this, but I'm making sure to follow the exact recipe. At this point, it seems really runny, but I just went with it. This time I actually have some real piping bags, unlike our last churro experience. So I cut the tip off the bag, threw my metal tip in there, threw that into a cup, and then filled that up with the batter. Everything's going a little too perfect right now. Our last step before the cooking process is to grab yourself a cupcake tin, turn it upside down, spray it with some cooking spray, and then 1 by 1 carefully pipe a layer of your dough around each mold. These things seem really close together, so I did every other and only made 3 of them. You then gotta throw those into the freezer for 3 hours to overnight, which seems a little excessive, but nonetheless, I did so. And finally, we get to cook these things. So once again, I grabbed myself another saucepan, threw in a few cups of oil, and then got that to heat up. Make sure your oil is hot enough first, and that's much better. So I gave it a couple minutes on each side until it got nice and brown. Just about there. Then I took it out, let it drain out on a paper towel, and then coated that in some cinnamon and sugar. It's not looking bad at this point. It caved in a little bit at the bottom, and it's a little thicker than Tasty's was, but overall, not horrible. Top that with a little bit of chocolate syrup, and this thing's looking pretty dang good. Let's give it a try. Would you like to come on camera and try? Don't walk away. Alright, so someone has finally made a return. After how many weeks, I don't know. Do you have any initial thoughts?
Mine is salmonella.
I was about to say from what, but there is a ton of eggs in there, so maybe. 3, 2, 1.
Mushy.
Yes.
That's good.
It is on the mushy side. The outside is like crispy, with everything else is really like spongy texture. The chocolate syrup and the cinnamon sugar really does pick it up though, so what would you give it?
7.
It's a firm 7.5, pushing 8 if it was cooked properly. Now, being that this thing came out pretty good, it made me wonder, what else can you make out of churros? How about a couple little Dorito chips? I did the same process, threw those into the freezer, fried them up, and those not looking too bad. How about a churro drinking glass? I actually did the same exact process, except with a much bigger cup. I kept that in the freezer for about 4 to 5 hours, tried to pop that off, and then, that whole thing kind of collapsed. I don't recommend trying this one. Now, getting away from the food and drink utensils, I wondered if I could do something else with these. How about a hair comb? That seems logical. I made sure this one was super well cooked through. And there you go. There is your churro hair comb. You might as well do the outro while you're here, gracing us with your presence.
I might as well do the outro?
Yeah.
But if you like this video and want to see me eat more things I shouldn't be eating or that aren't cooked well, like and subscribe.
Is that it? Are you done? I'm not this much shorter than him, by the way. I'm just like leaning. Don't ruin my hair! If you have more suggestions for us, maybe I'll bring this bum back. Leave them down in the comments. Have an awesome week, guys. I'll see you right back here next Thursday. Peace.
tastes like hairspray. Blech.